This is the Sports Hit List. By the fans, for the fans.
Carl Coulage for another edition of the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. I'm joined by King James's biggest fan in the hit list streets, Mr. Eddie James. That's why his name says it. Eddie, I appreciate you, brother, for being on the show. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
And we have Ray, who is a big MJ fan. You know, me and him kind of have the same mindset as far as grew up in the 90s, and we love that nostalgic. Ray, thanks for joining the show, bro.
What's going on? Appreciate you having me on. It's been a minute.
It's been a while. So let's get into it. Really, honestly, over the last few weeks, I've been talking to you guys back and forth privately about this whole LeBron versus Stephen A. And I said, you know what? Let's just settle this in a conversation, in a friendly banter about what's been going on. Because Eddie, I know you're anti-media. Is that fair to say, right? In a sense, as far as sports media.
I'm anti-sensationalist.
Okay, fair. And Ray is on the mind. I'd like to believe he understands what the media does. Not so much pro media, but you get it, and it's not that big of a deal to you. Is that fair to say?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So everybody kind of knows and understands if you have to be living under the rock not to know that Stephen A. and LeBron have been going back and forth in media the last few weeks. LeBron went on the Pat McAfee show. Stephen A. responded to it. And this all stems from Stephen A. talking about Bronny and how Bronny played a bad game against the Sixers. And then LeBron stepped to him, and then that went viral. So, Eddie, let me start with you. What is your biggest issue with what Stephen A. is doing right now, as far as when it comes to LeBron and I guess, quote unquote, the traditional basketball player?
I'm gonna be honest right now. It's a little bit hard. Anything I'm gonna say is probably gonna be a repeat of what's been going on from what regular media or podcasts are saying. My biggest problem with it is that he's dragging this. He's dragging this whole situation for clicks. That's it. For me, again, like I told you earlier, two things could be right. He is the biggest star in the media. He's the main reason why a lot of people do podcasts who have their platform is him. He's the main guy. So his voice means a whole lot, right? And he's not responsible with it. And he should be responsible for it with his platform, because his platform carries a whole lot of weight. Historically, he's done a lot of bad stuff to a lot of players. And one in particular that you guys know I hate on him all the time, Kyrie Irving. What he did to Kyrie Irving was disgusting. What he did to Allen Iverson, disgusting. What he did to Terrell Owens, disgusting. As far as it goes, he has a habit of doing all of this stuff. It's not really the problem with LeBron, more so the problem with Stephen A. Smith. That's my problem, Stephen A. Smith.
Now, Renell, you don't seem to care or have that big of an issue with Stephen A. as far as what he does on the regular basis. This guy has a Henny bottle in the shop.
No.
Nah, I really don't, because this
is a LeBron one.
That's his job. That's what he's paid to do. He's paid to give his opinions about stuff. Everybody does it. It's not his fault that he's arguably the biggest personality right now in the game. Just like Eddie says, he probably has a lot of beef with people, but you could probably name as probably many more people that he's helped out in a positive way as well. That just comes with the territory, especially when you have to be objective when you're speaking about somebody. Like, I like people objective. I like people giving their honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all about the whole just glazing all the damn time. That's boring. That's annoying. Like, who wants to sit there and just listen to somebody constantly give praise to all these players and never actually give them the real feedback? All right.
Well, that's a fair point, because I think I've kind of touched upon it with the segment about hate versus criticism. And I even asked Eddie, I said, are we not supposed to criticize players for what they do? And I think that's what Reynal is saying as a matter of not telling the players the truth. But LeBron said it to himself. He said he doesn't mind players criticizing him. So, again, what are we talking about here? If you really dive deep into what Stephen A. said, I know for you, Eddie, it was the comment about as a father that kind of triggered was the trigger word there, right?
Mm-hmm. And that literally was. Again, let's take the gem right now. This is for you. All right, we have a gem today. Stephen A. did it again this morning. What did he do? He tried to push a personal narrative because he's on the defense. This is what he's been doing for the longest. Okay, what did he say today? What did he say today about LeBron James going to Kobe Bryant's funeral and he didn't go? Okay,
he was wrong there. He was wrong there.
He was wrong there.
He admitted
Again,
it. And he
no. I get you. I understand, but you cannot burn the house down and light the fire too. Again, he has a platform. He's a professional journalist. He's been doing this he's been doing this for what, 30 years, something like that. I'm 40. I don't know how long he's been doing this. He knows what he's saying when he's saying. He knows what he's going to get clicks. He's smarter than that, right? So he did that knowing exactly what he's going to do. That's where the whole responsible thing comes in, because now you look like an idiot. Now you literally look like an idiot because you went and said, "Oh, he went and took the whole LeBron James reposting the punching thing, right? He took that, and why did LeBron James post that? Because Stephen A. out of nowhere, he tried to protect his manhood. He did it twice, and I don't think people caught the first one. He said, "Well, I don't wear tidy whities. That's funny. You know why?" He's trying to insinuate. You know what he's trying to insinuate there, right? Because his manhood got checked apparently, and then he also said that if LeBron James would have swung on me, I would have done something. So LeBron James was making fun of what he said.
But you heard what he said before that. He said he would have swung, but he would have got his ass beat.
I don't care about that. You
got that part. Though.
But right now that doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
You don't care about it.
You can't care about that because again, let me ask you a question. At one point, no. At what point right now did this turn into violence from LeBron James' perspective? When did he say, "I want to whoop some ass, I'm going to punch you in the face, I'm going to do all this"? When did he say anything? He felt threatened. Why did he feel threatened? Because it's all about narratives. He could spit the narratives, but when a narrative spit about him, what was he saying? Oh, LeBron pulled up to him and he got shook. That's the narrative. The narrative for
I guess again, Eddie,
protect myself.
Eddie, the other issue I think you had was the word when he said LeBron rolled up on
Absolutely.
you, right?
That's another one. That's another one. And why is it a trigger for me? It's a trigger for me because he'll pull up to Fox News. And it's not, I hate to make it political. I really do. There's so much political stuff going on in this world right now, right? However, it's valid. Why? Because he's going onto these news stations that, what are they doing? Look at what they're doing with, I apologize. Please forgive me for what I'm going to say. But he's going and what is Fox News doing with someone like Jasmine Crockett? What are they doing? They're saying she's ghetto, she's uneducated, she's DEI, she's all this stuff. Why? Not because she's uneducated, because she's black. That's why she's doing it. He's going and he's bringing this crossover to a place like Fox News. And he's talking about, he insinuated today with Perk. Remember Perk said, LeBron, he's trying to say LeBron James was racist because LeBron James is not going on any black shows. He's only going on white shows. And then Stephen has said, I'll leave it like that. But he's going on tour next week in Long Island with Bill O'Reilly and Mario Cuomo's son. What's his name?
I think it's brother.
Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo.
You're going on a smear tour, so you can't talk about that. Why are you not going on tour with some black politicians? So again, you're a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. He knows what he's doing, though.
I'm not gonna get in the whole politics thing because I don't really mess with that. I'm not
fair. We don't.
So
I mean,
I don't know anything about when it comes to that. I'm here to talk about Stephen A. as a sports analyst. That's what I'm here to talk about. Yes, there was a narrative. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he was scared," which really didn't make sense to me because at the end of the day, if something happens, he's the one that's gonna get in. He's the one that's getting kicked out the game. He's the one that's probably gonna have to issue an apology and everything like that. He's the one that looks bad. So this whole narrative of, Stephen A. should have did something. We all seen what happened when Shannon Sharp tried it. You seen what happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what he was supposed to do during a live televised NBA game. Literally, it was going on.
I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He handled it respectfully. Okay, the problem is what I'm saying is that the narrative went around from other people saying, You got stepped to and you did nothing. So they were calling him a punk for that. So how did he reflect from that? Oh, if he would have held off, if he would have came and said I would have fired him.
He said if he would have, if LeBron would have touched him, he would have swung. Yeah. And he also said he would have got his ass beat. That's exactly
correct. But I don't care. But I got you. But he took it to a place. He took it to a place he didn't have to go. That didn't need to be said. That's being insecure. That's literally what he's doing. The whole day today, he took his time being insecure the entire day. So the entire day. We can line it up.
Okay, so let's flip it then. So then LeBron is not. So I guess LeBron's not being insecure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about?
So was LeBron not being?
No, LeBron. Here's what LeBron James did. No, again, you could laugh. Again, LeBron James has been criticized and critiqued for 20-something years, literally for 20-something years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't come out and he doesn't say anything for all of the scrutiny he gets. He gets destroyed. But what happens? These people go on TV and they hide behind the mic. They hide behind the mic because they know he's not going to come on these shows. That's what they do. So
LeBron, let's not act like LeBron has never.
How many times
like
has been quiet? Let me ask you a question. For someone like Jason Whitlock, right? Let's go Jason Whitlock. Let's go what's his name? Skip Bayless. Let's go with Colin Cowherd, right? Those people say stupid stuff. Michelle Beadle, right?
Mm-hmm.
When has he come at them? And they've sent a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hold this. They don't hold this. They don't. Huh?
He came at Charles Barkley. He comes at the.
He came at Charles Barkley, but again, he came at another NBA player. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay. He could come at
this now.
So okay, okay, hold on, Eddie. So to clarify, you're okay with LeBron clapping back at an NBA play? You're okay with NBA players criticizing, but not okay with media personality, right?
No. I was trying to retract what I'm saying, and the point of what did Charles Barkley say that he clapped back? Come on, man. You don't like to compete. You have no heart for competition. That's what he said. So again, he didn't judge him on the basketball court. That's a personal thing. That's what he did. He judged him by heart. Am I wrong? So at that point, it's fair game. So that's when he came at him. He didn't say
saying that he has no heart.
Huh?
So saying he has no heart, you think is personal?
That is personal. That's 100% personal. Him saying, "Come on, man, you got to play with all the good players." Oh, blah blah. That's literally what he said. That has nothing to do with basketball. No, it really does. It really doesn't. You know what has to do with basketball? Let me tell you what has to do with basketball. I'm gonna tell you what has to do with basketball. He comes down at the end of the game and he misses 2 free throws. Yo, this man can't hit a free throw in the clutch. That's about basketball. Not saying someone don't got heart. That's exactly what people are leading with. He's scared of the moment. These are the narratives that are set by the Stephen A. Smiths, the Skip Bayless of the world. And guess what? The problem I have with it, and I'm gonna stop right now after this. They have such a powerful voice that people listen to it and they go with it. They go with it. They don't have to question it. They just go with what he says because his platform is that big. So what I'm saying is what he says has a responsibility. So if he can say that, he deserves a clapback because he's done it to a lot of people in the past. And again, for me, the worst, I forget about LeBron James, but LeBron James is our topic today. What he did to Kyrie Irving was disgusting. That was purely disgusting to me. Again, I hated the Kawhi Leonard for not Kawhi, Kyrie Irving for a while. I'm a big hater of Kyrie Irving, but come on, he demonized him. He made him look like a demon.
Well, let me ask this, right? Because I want to make sure we're clear, and I know I'm trying to keep this as far as time concerned. Mm-hmm. Would you say when it comes to any form of celebrity, it comes with the job to understand that you're in the public eye? You're going to have a lot of people saying things that they necessarily are bad things about you, assuming things, and it just comes with the are we okay to say that athletes are just supposed to, it comes with the territory?
If it's about their art, yes. It comes with the territory about their art, not when they're talking about their personal life. When it comes about their art, yes. So basketball, baseball, acting, whatever it is, their art.
Ray?
It definitely is fair game. They are public figures. But we can, the whole personal thing, I mean, that can be a lot of things that you might think personal that I don't think is personal. Saying, do you need to play with all the good players? I don't find that being personal at all. Saying you were scared in the moment of the game, I don't find that personal. That's talking about the game. Like, that's not talking about you're scared in life about something. They're saying you were scared at the moment. You didn't want the ball. You didn't want to be in that position during the game or any games. I get a lot of people, you know, everybody has their favorite players. Everybody has that player that they're going to die on the hill for. So a lot of times people are just going to, anything wrong or criticism that they feel like their favorite player or somebody is giving to them, they're just going to automatically assume it's the worst thing. I've been in that situation. You know, I got players that I'll die for, so I get it. But I try my best to not always get too overly hyped about the situation. They're just doing the job. They're doing the best they can at it.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ray here, Eddie. I think for me, personal is attacking a family member, talking about something that doesn't have to deal with the game. And we've seen a lot of them. Some of them have done that. And the players do get upset about it, right? And we saw a situation similar kind of in a way with Joel Embiid. He actually shoved the reporter. He got so mad. I think he put his hands on him. I don't think LeBron didn't take it to that level. Clearly, we were in the public eye. But I think with LeBron, he is the most polarizing athlete, I would like to say, of this era, whatever sport it is. LeBron is the most talked about athlete, polarizing athlete, whether you take basketball, baseball, football, NHL, he is it, right? So it does come with the territory. But again, it's a matter of where do we draw the line. Now, when you integrate Bronny, I've said this, to me, it's a conflict of interest because he's not only a father, he's his teammate.
Exactly.
And so it becomes, where is the area that, okay, I can talk about Bronny and not have a problem with it. But I got to be careful not talking about Bronny because I don't want to offend LeBron. You see what I'm saying? So I understand his frustrations. I think LeBron was in father mode, not LeBron mode when he went at Stephen A., which is fair to say. Like, any father would have did the same thing, would have went up and said, why you talk? Like, we've seen Kevin Durant's mom check Stephen A. a bunch of times about certain things that they say. And I think that's where the lines get blurred among fans. Is like, oh, well, LeBron's not supposed to say anything. But no, he's still a father. He's a father before a basketball player. So his father instinct kicked in, I think, in that moment, as opposed to LeBron being the dad, LeBron being the basketball player and teammate and saying, listen, I'm not going to talk about Bronny. But and also I think a lot of times is Bronny's journey too, which probably makes the topic a little bit more sensitive, given the fact that he had a heart condition, he couldn't play, and this is a kid just living his dream and just being in the NBA, where Stephen A., could he have approached this topic a little bit more delicate? But then I also understand Ray's point. He is a basketball professional at this point. So we should hold him to that standard of saying, listen, you're in the NBA, you're going to get the criticism. Any NBA player gets criticism, whether they play well, whether they play not. And on top of that, you're LeBron's son. You're not just a regular basketball player. You're LeBron, the most polarizing figure's son in the league. So what did we think was going to happen? Which is why, like I said, I see both sides where it gets dicey. Eddie.
There's a way to cover that. You know who covers that well? And it's one of the LeBron's biggest haters. Rashad McCants on that podcast, like Gil's Arena. That's a way to cover someone like Bronny, where they're gonna say, "Oh, he's not developed yet." I mean, he's a turnover machine. He's somebody who can't guard somebody who's faster than him, bigger than him. He's an undersized shooting guard or whatever. That's a critique. That is a critique of the player. At that point, I don't think LeBron James has a problem with that. You cannot lead with, and if I'm screaming, I apologize. You cannot lead with LeBron as a father. You cannot lead with that. I'm sorry. That's what you led with. You didn't say, listen, this guy got on the court and he was outmatched. He was outmatched. Tyrese Maxey showed him why he needs to stay in the G League for a little while. He didn't say that. He went and said, how can I go ahead and get more views, more clicks? LeBron, as a father, I'm begging you. That's not talking about Bronny anymore. That's talking about him. And at the end of the day, they've been critiquing Bronny about being a DEI pick, or what do you call it? Like nepotism.
Make a wish.
Nepotism. They've been talking about that since June. Why all of a sudden it came to Stephen A. And again, Stephen A. blew it up bigger than the situation. Why? There was a little video. He checked him. That's where it needed to end. Literally. But what did he do as an opportunist? He signed a big contract, $100 million. He said, oh, lovely. I love it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll with it. He went on every single talk show and he brought it into the political way. He went to Fox and did it. He literally spoke to Sean Hannity about LeBron James in this situation. The same place that says shut up and vote. The problem I'm not going to bring it to a political point of this, right? But I feel like a lot of people, not the people who love basketball, it's the other people who don't. They're looking for a reason to go ahead and dislike somebody, right? And it's about movements. It's all about movements here, right?
It's the casuals.
Colin Kaepernick. They went and they destroyed. They demolished him. And again, I don't want to touch on that. I know that's a delicate spot. With LeBron James, what happened with him? When did they really turn on him? When he went and did what Derrick Rose did, right, with the Black Lives Matter, he put the shirt on. Then everybody turned on him. Oh, word, you shouldn't be talking about that. Then the woman says, "Shut up and dribble." Okay, they're looking for a way to demonize, and for me, that's literally what's happening. So I feel like bringing something like this to the political point. I mean, it's definitely hurting the image of somebody. I don't even want to say, because it's like it's hard to not bring it to a political sense.
Well,
you know what I'm trying to say. But.
Well, let me wrap up with this. Would we say LeBron is more loved or hated?
He's more loved. There's no question about that. Like, let's be honest. Like, yeah, he gets criticized, but those same people that you say criticize him, about 70% of the time, they're praising him all the time. Like, Stephen A. sits there and praises LeBron all the time. I mean, I understand he jokes about it because a lot, but he literally will go on there and talk nothing but great things about LeBron, how he is deserving of everything that's given to him. Like, but a lot of people don't want to admit that because, oh, he said something bad about him. That's really, if you really look at it, maybe outside of Skip Bayless, that's just a whole another level. But mostly everybody is nothing but positive things about LeBron James, literally. Like, and so they say negative things about him. That comes with the territory. But for the most part, it's nothing but positive. Colin Cowherd, like you said, Stephen A. Smith, they say nothing but positive things about LeBron all the time. That's the truth when it comes.
Eddie, what do you think? Do you think it's more positive or negative about Bron?
Okay. Separate question. I think that he is more loved than hated. I do feel like he's more loved. I feel like he's more loved. But if we're gonna go ahead and say whether it's more positive or negative, that's not true at all. I again, there's the equal balance of he can go ahead and do something really good, something historical, and they'll say, oh, he did it in this era. He did, like, they'll go ahead and they automatically draw connections to someone else. So that's a negative right there, and that happens every day. So if he's loved, absolutely, you can't have 200 million followers on Facebook, Instagram, and not be loved. You're loved. That guy is loved. He's adored. I understand that. But again, with that comes the bad negative platform. And Stephen A. Smith today proved it. Today, you cannot say one positive thing about what he did today. Today was disgusting. And he essed the bed. That's pretty much what he did today, the whole day.
I mean, and I will admit, and I did say to Ray off camera, I think it's getting a little ridiculous, to be honest. And as a media, I guess, media diehard, for me, it was like at some point you had me entertained. Today, when I saw Stephen A., like, did you really have to mention Kobe? Like, you didn't have to drag in Kobe into this whole entire, like, Kobe had nothing to do with it. Him not attending it, I didn't think that was fair to Kobe nor his family for him to even mention Kobe's name. You wanted to go the D-Wade route, I can understand that one. But the whole, and then to be wrong on top of that, and this is where I have to agree with Eddie. As a I always fact check before I say something. You see what I'm saying? Like, you literally have to catch me like, oh, okay, I really thought something and I forgot it. But before, you have to have researchers, or you have to have a team that fact checks your whole entire essay or your monologue before you say it, before he went out there and said it. And then he ends up having to retract it and say, oh, I'm sorry, and retract the comment. I think that looks bad on Stephen A. And to that point, I think it should be over at this point. It should be like, put it to red. We're done with it, Ray.
Yeah, without a doubt. Stephen A. should have addressed it the first time and been done with it. And whatever happened after that, he's done with it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look good at all, without a doubt. I will 100% agree with you on that. especially with the whole Kobe thing and being wrong about that. Yeah, no doubt. It's getting ridiculous. Well, it's funny at the end of the day, but it's at this point, he's just making it more than it needs to be. LeBron probably talked about him for maybe like 3 minutes, and Stephen A's been today alone has been just
17, bro. I
crazy.
counted.
But
It was a 17-minute segment, fam. It was 17 minutes.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not here defending Stephen A. I understand his point of view. I'm not here defending LeBron James either, but I get his point of view. I get everybody's point of view because honestly, like I told you earlier, I'm not a fan of either one. So I can literally step back and look at both point of views with a clear head and just understand where they're both coming from. But it's good TV at the end of the day. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both rich, and then now they'll be all right. They'll be all good. I just want to say something about this Bronny thing. It's annoying because at the end of the day, Bronny is now an NBA player. Whether you agree he should have been or how he ever got there, he is an NBA player. He's gonna get criticized. We have to criticize him because if he does something positive, you guys are all up in there posting, "Oh, Bronny did this, Bronny did this." So when he does something bad, that comes with the territory too. Like you have to take the good with the bad at the end of the day. Like you said earlier, it becomes a conflict of interest because LeBron can't always be there for his son. Like that's not how it works. Like your son is gonna get criticized, especially when you have said that he's better than a lot of NBA players. He said that. No one asked him about it. He's the one that came out and said that. And that's one thing I never understood. Why hasn't anybody asked him recently, do you still think your son is better than half of the NBA players right now? No one's ever asked him about his part in why people are criticizing Bronny so much. No one's ever. Not even Pat McAfee. No one
because
ever.
It's a touchy subject. You know what? To be honest with you, though, and I'm gonna let Eddie go. It's a touchy subject. Again, it's a conflict of interest for me. It's like, how do you approach talking about Bronny and evaluating him as a player in front of his dad? Right? That's like how could you go to someone and say, well, your kid is not that great at basketball? Like it's a tough question from a media personality. It's a tough question or a tough statement to say to someone who's on the podcast. So for Pat McAfee, he's probably like, all right, if I'm approaching the Bronny topic, I gotta be on thin ice the way I approach it.
You remember when LeVar Ball was like, Alonzo was gonna be better than Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Anytime he went on a platform, they asked him that all the time.
Yeah, I get it, but like I said, I think there's a level of difference between the face of the league. And no disrespect to LeVar, all due respect to LeVar Ball for everything he did for his kids. There's a difference in level of as far as celebrity is concerned. That's just for me. If I was in the media room, I don't know how I would word that to LeBron, being like, I would probably tippy-toe around it and say, your son is struggling at the moment. How is he going to improve? I don't know. I wouldn't blatantly say, I'd be like, do you think he belongs in the G League for him to spend some more time to develop? I don't know if the other media personalities just don't want to do it. And B, maybe Bron, a lot of times when you do interviews, and sometimes people don't talk about it, they will tell you questions that they won't answer. I remember when I was at St. Francis one time, and the coach, I walked in to do an interview. He said, I'm not answering these questions, so don't even bother asking it to me. So a lot of times they'll preface the interview with saying, I'm not going to answer these questions, and maybe that's why those questions aren't asked. Eddie.
That's a good point. When it came to Stephen A's rant, the thing is that if he would have just left it where it was before he took it to the other place, and then LeBron James would have checked him, then everybody who's saying that he's wrong has a valid point. For me, he brought it there. I think, how do you criticize Bronny? Exactly how he did in the first part of that, where he said, "Yo, he didn't belong on the court with Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey busted him up. He made him look like he belonged in the G League to stay there. You keep it there. That's fine. That's complete criticism. The moment he went south is the moment he mentioned at LeBron James in it. That's how you go wrong with this, right? You can critique him. He's been getting critiqued left and right. So for me, that's the balance of it, where you keep it to the basketball, and that's fine. If you want to keep it personal and you want to make it somewhat personal, then you have to respect the clapback, whatever it is. And again, he didn't clap. All he did was went to his face and say, yo, keep my son's name out your mouth. He didn't press him. He didn't push him. He literally just confronted him. And he confronted him, but he rolled up. That's what he said. He rolled up. He didn't roll up.
What's the difference between confronting and rolled up? Like, why are you making it seem like it's a big difference, man?
It is a big difference. It is. No, but it is a big
really
difference. But it is the way that people.
Okay, so I guess if you take it back to textbook, right? So for me, rolling up, that means you want to start something. I guess that's how I'm interpreting it, right? I could be wrong.
Rolling up. What do you take rolling up as?
Like I said, someone trying.
You talking that slang. You talking about slang. That you're using slang again in a media presence that matters. The words you say matters. He is Stephen A is one of the smartest people on media that there ever is. He is amazingly smart. His vocabulary is very high. He knows how to talk about everything. He could talk about all the sports. His intellect is there. So he knows the words he's choosing. That's my problem with it. He knows the difference between confronting, which doesn't sound great, but rolling up. The same way that Phil Jackson said, yo, he was chilling with his posse. Remember that? Remember when he was chilling with the posse in there? That matters. That matters. That's what I'm saying. Those terms matter, especially when it comes to how someone views you. Someone views you as a thug. They say, oh, he rolled up because what? LeBron James is a thug. We know he's not a thug. He's not going to do that life. But again, the people, the casuals, the people who are not watching the game are going to say, oh, LeBron James is a thug. That's what happens. That's literally the conversation. That's my problem with that, you know? So again, you can critique LeBron James completely. If it's kept to basketball, that's cool. You could critique him however you want, but you cannot be upset if someone claps back. He's been doing this for 20 something years. There's so much things that are said about him and he doesn't respond. And then he'll say, oh, call me on the phone or whatever. But then when someone does call him on the phone, what does he say? Oh, I can't say this about him because he has people calling me to tell me this or whatever. So that doesn't even work. He says that too. So again, you can't win. You can't win with that. You can't
Guys, we're up on time here. I want to thank you so much for having this conversation, a healthy conversation. I appreciate you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe to all Hit List content. Eddie, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Ray, again, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
I appreciate you inviting me, man.
All right, you guys take care. Like, share, comment, subscribe to all Hit List content. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks for watching the Sports Hit List. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In fact, do it now.